Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hooligan Hangout. You have successfully found our movie review segment. Congratulations. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the week for some other fun shit like news and us talking, rambling on. Anthony's face is pure tomato red over there because he just saw the funniest thing on the internet, but he can't show y'all right now. So we're going to slide right into a spoiler-free movie review of Ant-Man Quantumania.
It's actually Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Quantumania. Mario. All right, guys. So this week we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, directed by Peyton Reed, starring Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Jonathan Majors. In case y'all don't know, it's a Marvel movie, and here's a quick synopsis, but I'm sure most of y'all will know. Ant-Man and the Wasp find themselves exploring the quantum realm, interacting with strange new creatures, and embarking on an adventure that pushes them beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. Where are we going to get into this? First and foremost.
Well, we always start with the cons, so...
Well, a lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about.
I would just want to say, I don't fully understand where all the hate came from for this movie. There were definitely bad parts about the movie, definitely cons that I'm going to point out.
I will say I agree. I do not think it is as bad as people say.
Yes, I don't think it's as bad.
I can comfortably say that this has probably been the best Marvel movie to come out since probably Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that
very comfortably
sounds like a pro, but it's
not.
It's not. Yeah, I was gonna say
it's not a hard,
that big of a compliment.
Not a hard task to accomplish, but they did it. They got over the mid-ass hump.
Yeah. And the other thing I'd say is it's weird from just a movie standpoint by itself. I think it's a little bit better than if you think of it as a Marvel movie, which I'll go into in the spoilers. I'll describe why, but
I think it's better if you think about it as a Marvel movie versus just a regular movie.
That's almost every Marvel movie, though.
We can talk about it
when you think about it.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about non-spoilers.
I'm going to go into my biggest con.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't even... Yeah, I think my biggest is MODOK had no reason to be in this movie.
I don't think it's that he had no reason to be in this movie. It's the way he fucking looked. He looked like a fucking dum-dum on a chair.
This ain't a spoiler either. It was in the trailers.
Every scene with him, they should have cut out. Every single one of them.
I agree.
And not even because of his looks. Like, if he looked amazing, I still would say the same thing.
I agree 1,000,000% and 800 times over.
Especially towards the end. I'm just like...
Dude.
This is one of the instances where I regret asking for a comic accurate version of him. He looks like dog shit.
Yeah, he looks pretty bad.
I literally think it would have been better to put a midget in a robot suit than to see what we got.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, his armored face didn't look too bad.
I thought it looked stupid.
Yeah, I would have preferred him leave the armored face on like a paper bag.
Yeah.
I agree.
The entire time.
I still think it looked kind of weird, but it was better than seeing his actual fucking face, dude. Holy shit.
His humor was there, but let me tell y'all, as soon as they opened the mask, revealed his face, you will not catch me laughing so damn hard as I laughed at that shit. I'm not even kidding with you guys. That shit had me laughing so fucking hard.
Dude, I cannot describe the range of emotion I felt fucking seeing that monstrosity on screen. I was like, oh my god, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And then it sunk in. I was like, oh my god, this is the dumbest shit I have ever seen. I was like, oh my god,
they got the humor.
Grossest thing.
Yeah, they got the humor. But every bit of writing about his character was just thrown out the window in the end.
It fucking ruined the movie.
Yeah, all of it was just thrown out the window.
every scene he was in, the tone completely fell apart.
Yeah.
No matter how serious he was trying to be either. Like, anytime he had the mask off, I just could not take him serious. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever.
And he didn't even seem important at all. Like, he was a side character that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
MODOK? Yeah.
Yeah.
And another con I want to get into is I don't know if y'all would agree, but I feel like this is just one big advertisement for Kang.
I mean, he's the main villain. It's not like he's literally the main villain of the fucking movie. I don't know what the fuck you wanted.
I get that, but to me, it wasn't a very compelling Ant-Man story. It was more about Kang than anyone.
Okay, so that was something I was gonna say. The previous two Ant-Man stories were surrounded around Scott and like his life, kind of. This movie was. This is gonna be a terrible way to explain it, but it's almost too much plot.
It was pretty jumbled, yeah.
It was just too much of the main plot. Like you said, it's. I don't know. It didn't feel like an Ant-Man movie.
The other thing, background movie.
Actually, it's a spoiler. I'm not going to go into it, but I do have some gripes with Kang a little bit.
We'll say it didn't feel like a Scott Lang movie, but it was definitely a Janet Van Dyne movie. Like, it was definitely involved the main core characters.
Yeah,
it's not like they just completely scrapped the heroes and only focused on the villains. They just didn't focus on Scott Lang.
Then tell me why Wasp was so sidelined.
Okay, they focused on the old Wasp, you dumb bitch.
It doesn't matter.
Not to mention, I know this is a spoiler, but I can say it. They cucked Hank, and that was the best part.
They cucked Hank?
Wait, what do you mean?
That's my dude. I love Hank, though. Uh-oh, we caught you, Anthony.
Wait, what do you...
Homie didn't see the movie.
I just don't know what you mean by that.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to spoilers, but that shit was funny. Okay.
Yeah, one of my cons is with Kang, but we'll go into that. I also feel like the ending of this movie was they tried to do too much. You know what I mean? Like, they could have saved this for later on.
This is literally the third movie in his trilogy.
Yeah, I was saying it's literally Ant-Man Endgame, it felt like.
It is his endgame. I think they're getting ready to move away from him and go to his daughter, so.
No, okay, then that's fair.
Yeah, it did serve to show his daughter more.
Is it just me, or does the actor that played his daughter look exactly like Kristen Stewart?
No, that's just you. I'm sorry, I didn't think so.
I thought so. Her facial expressions were just very Kristen Stewart-esque.
I also felt this is one more con. Like I said, I thought the plot was a little all over the place, like structurally. But I also thought I never felt any real consequences. I feel like their plan went like perfect. It felt like it's just like too easy in a sense.
Yeah.
There was nothing ever that set me on edge. Someone was like, "Oh shit, this person might die," or "This person might die," or whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their scenes, but I was just like, "Oh well." Their plan worked perfect. Literally nothing went wrong.
I think that's honestly a great way to describe everything, the whole movie. Honestly.
Because you would think they'd have obstacles in the quantum realm, but they really had no obstacles.
They really had nothing. It was just straightforward.
They literally got, captured by ratted out by an old friend. He had infinite probability versions of himself. I think there's
but
that was cool.
The only obstacle I would think of that, is the jail. But other than that, I'm not going to go into that. That's a spoiler.
I think there was. I think you're just being overly critical for this one.
I don't think so.
Pros, it was a solid like Marvel movie. It had all the typical tropes that all the Marvel movies usually do have, and it put them off.
I think this is the most beautiful Marvel movie I've seen. The Quantum Realm was absolutely stunning. Every bit of it, start to finish.
I can't speak on that.
I agree. I love the visuals, and I also really loved.
Bro?
I loved the creature designs. It really reminded me of Star Wars.
I want to know what pack Anthony's on. The CGI was fucking flawless in this. Like, even though MODOK looks stupid, he was really well done, like well polished all the way through.
I'm just saying,
all the characters were, all the background was. It was a stunning movie.
I can't confirm nor deny. That's all I'm saying.
Because he didn't see the movie. It's simple.
Noah gets it. Noah understands.
I get it. Never mind. Yep. Just clicked in my brain. Sorry.
It hasn't clicked in mine. I'm kind of slow.
Criminal activities. Anthony's a gremlin.
Anyways.
And I will say the humor was not that bad this time around.
It was a really serious Ant-Man movie, like all around. Which is why when MODOK was like the only comic relief, it felt really, really off.
Felt strange, right?
It was a really,
that's his character.
Written and grounded Ant-Man movie. Like, I was really surprised that they made him really serious throughout.
And it also, like, we already said it, but like, this is, in my opinion, this is Cassie and Scott's story. This was their time to develop and to share that bond, and for him to, in a sense, give her the mantle, teach her the ropes.
Right.
And so, they did that good.
We needed to. Too much.
Yeah. I think they did a good job doing that.
I have a question, though. When does this take place? Like, because if she was 6 in the first Ant-Man movie, and then the blip happened, she would only be 11.
Well, in the second one, she wasn't 6. She was like 12 or something.
Hmm.
And then the blip happened, so she's like 18, 19.
Yeah, it's a good timeline. Yeah.
Okay.
It checks out.
I get that then.
That's all we got. Would y'all recommend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the first Marvel movie in a really long time that I would recommend.
I would recommend it.
Yeah, me too.
And just leave your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know if you liked our opinions, if you hated our opinions. Don't matter to us. We're gonna read every single comment, interact with you guys. Make sure you check the links in the description and check out our merch store. Say hi to your mom first, but if you want to hear the spoilers and get in discussion with us, then we're going to get into that right away. So here we go.
My favorite part was whenever they showed MODOK being created and they showed him getting castrated.
Dude, he was. He actually pretty much was when you think about it. Why was there so much?
His fucking small little ass cheeks, fucking Hank Hill, fucking CGI didn't do that shit was so fucking funny, dude.
That shit had me giving my friend the side eye, bro. Like,
You saw that shit and just could not control my laughter.
It was so funny. But let's get into spoiler cons.
Can we talk about Kang though? Because I have a lot of cons with him.
I don't have a lot about him, but yeah, go ahead.
I think so. I think
down to here.
Really well written character.
He's supposed to basically be like the next Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? So I was actually talking to a coworker, and the way he described it is almost perfect. Basically, what he said, they made it seem like this was an Ant-Man villain, which they did. They made it seem like just Scott Lang could beat this huge and mighty villain, and they did. They beat him like pretty easily. Like
I
understand 100 million ants.
I'm just saying he did not seem strong at all. And he barely used his powers. Used his powers the whole time.
That's my one gripe. I love Jonathan Majors' performance. He did a terrific job. I love the way they're going to do Kang and all of his variants. Obviously, it's kind of weird though because I thought one variant was Kang the Conqueror. Like I thought they were all Kang variants, but only one is the Conqueror, and I thought that was him.
And he is the only Conqueror.
Okay, so then he's not dead. He's not dead then. He's not dead.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
And what's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm kind of confused now. But anyways, so like you said, Anthony, I think he felt more when they first introduced him, when they first showed how he got his power, like what he did to all those planets, universes, what he even what he did in when Scott was in jail, and the way he just tossed him around like fucking nothing. He tossed MODOK around like nothing. That shit was like scarier than Thanos.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he's able to toss MODOK around like that, toss Scott around, toss Cassie, but when he goes mano between three of them, he doesn't try to do any of that shit. He tries to fist fight him.
I will say that was one of the things I didn't like either. Is like it feel like they showed him being powerful and then they nerfed him so that way they could kill him off.
I get. The only thing I'm not gripey about too much is the ant thing, because I get it, a million ants, and like maybe probably not going to stop that.
I saw that, and in my brain, I was like, "This is like when Squirrel Girl killed Doctor Doom, and she sicked up a million squirrels on him, and she technically beat Doctor Doom."
I disagree, no, because if that was Thanos getting attacked by ants, he would have destroyed them all. Like Kang,
I don't know.
Kang has the ability to just like blow them all away.
Well, clearly, he didn't. He tried.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the con. He does have that power, and he didn't do it.
That was the one thing too. Is when right before Ant-Man and the Wasp start going to fight Kang, literally right before he comes out of his tower, starts lasering civilians like nothing, and then he gets on the ground and starts fighting. And I'm like, what? Laser them!
And so you really want me to believe that Scott Lang can beat Kang, but the entire set of the Avengers can't? Thor can't?
The issue is that he's not the strongest variant of him. He's one of the weaker variants. That's what they're trying to set up. And they're trying to make like a whole army of variants of Kang seem really threatening, which is what they're going for. But they did it really terribly here, because I feel like if they were going for that, instead of the plot resolving by them actually beating Kang, I think the plot should have resolved by them tricking him and then escaping while leaving him there. And that would have been a better
I agree.
ending to set him up as being this all Avenger level threat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's the conqueror. Other variants are not as strong as him. It doesn't seem.
No, there are other ones that are stronger. That's the ones that they showed in the post credit scenes. Those are like that top tier Kang, like the oldest Kang alive is the one who's living that.
Yes, those three, but they're trying to stop other Kangs. Like they're trying to save the universe, it sounds like, the timeline.
No, they literally said all Kangs unite because the Avengers killed one of us, which means they're getting too strong, so we all have to go and post up and kill him.
Oh, they were talking about the Avengers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, hey, yo, one of us got killed. Fuck that. Autobots roll out.
It's so weird, though, because the whole time I thought it's going to be centered around one king, just the Conqueror. And that's now the whole dynasty it's millions of them.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Avengers King Dynasty.
It's strange.
I think it's stupid, though. I think having one King the Conqueror would have been just fine. But, Marvel, they get overzealous and do shit just because they fucking want to. Not because it makes sense story-wise, but...
But, any more cons, Anthony?
No. That's my big one.
I guess that's part of what my con was, how the plan was too easy, because Kang got fucking nerfed.
Yeah.
He could have stopped so many parts of their plan, and it just like went perfect for them. And he didn't do shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Even in the very end when he was fighting Scott, like he still had his powers.
You're telling me he has a whole empire and army and they couldn't stop those fucking villagers?
Yeah.
None of them?
They lost to the ants.
That's fair, yeah. But still, they were still pushing on them. They were still gaining ground, though.
Well, at the very end, they were literally like about to slaughter them all, and then the ants pulled up.
And then MODOK didn't do much shit either.
Okay, that was another
Towards the end.
They threw everything out the window because he was just like, you know what? I want to be a good guy now.
That whole monologue that whole exchange between Cassie and MODOK made me cringe so hard.
Yeah, I hated that. Like,
don't be such a dick. Huh? I cannot be a dick?
Like, that's exactly what happened.
Verbatim.
It just...
Hi, I'm
If
Darren.
it was that easy, then they could have thrown his whole entire character out of the movie, and it wouldn't have changed a thing.
He died at the end anyways.
I do think they're so lenient now because they can just say, "Oh, another variant's coming. Don't worry."
Darren.
Either that or they're testing to see if MODOK does good, and now they're just like, he was kind of shit. Let's just not do him ever again.
Oh,
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have to begin. They should have just known off the top of their head that was going to be a shit idea. Do you know how many eyeballs had to see that shit for that to make it to fucking public screens? Do you know how many motherfuckers had to look at him and be like, "Yep, checks out." Fuck that.
Yep, checks out.
I mean,
it
it
is
is for the visual effects studio that had to sit there and design that motherfucker.
His fucking eyeballs in his face, his little arms. It was pretty crazy.
Someone got paid probably over months of time to fucking draw that motherfucker's ass cheeks.
The dude's crying right now, dude. His resume. I drew MODOK's ass cheeks in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Can I see a picture of that?
But
By chance, did you happen to design the front?
Oh, maybe. It wasn't used, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I see a picture of that?
That's all I got for cons, unless y'all got anything else.
I think that's it.
Don't want to drag it on too much.
I thought it was weird that they kept cucking Hank.
Dude, he did nothing wrong, too.
What do you mean by that?
Homie was like, Bill Murray pulled up and was like, "Hey, by the way, Hank, fucked your wife, freaky shit." Took a sip and was like, "Oh, that reminds me of that one time I fucked your wife."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, dude, you should have heard about this one time where I fucked your wife.
When me and your wife did some really weird shit. Did you know she's a freak? Like, stuff like that, bro.
I wasn't sure that's what they were implying. I thought it was until they were on the plane, and she's like, "I have needs, you know."
Then he was like, "Oh, it's okay, I fuck bitches too."
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
I was like, "Dang."
That poor dude, he was like, it didn't work out, though. You know, she wasn't you. I was like, fuck. That's so sad.
What is he human? He said he's partially not.
He
He's
said
from
he's
the quantum realm.
technically not human because he's not from Earth, but he's a humanoid in the quantum realm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that, like, technically we don't know. That could be a thing. Like, that could be real.
The quantum realm?
Scale, not to like technology, but you know what I mean?
All right, why don't you go? Go explore it, bro. You know, it might be a little fun. But, any more pros?
I feel like I haven't said a lot of pros. I just don't have specific pros, but
I really liked Scott's character growth. I feel like they really showed him maturing a lot in this movie, like just through like little decisions he made. Like it was a bunch of like just little stuff that really showed him like grow as a character.
I love how much he's like fully embracing who he is now.
Yeah,
and like he knows what he's good at and what he's not good at, and he's an expert at his craft now, and it's really cool to see that.
okay. I'm sorry. One last con, and then I'll move on forward. Last one. I'm sorry, but in the very end, when he was walking down, he's like, "Wait, I didn't kill him. Oh well, it'll be fine." I'm like, "What?"
It didn't
I
know.
mean, that's classic Scott Lang humor, though. I think that's fine.
I guess
it showed it still lingered. Like it wasn't like something he pushed off.
Yeah,
I think
it
did a good job of like showing Ant-Man's version of PTSD. That's essentially what that was.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think in a sense that also mirrors the audience. Like, wait, he's dead, right? Like, wait, he's not coming back, right? But like, we should be worried, even though you might blow it off now.
I guess super technically, they didn't kill him. They just hit him with a bunch of growing and smalling pellets.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if he's dead. He might not be. But they did say he died, right? Like you said.
Well, they said he died, but I mean, he very well could have just tanked it. But he definitely doesn't have technology anymore because all that shit blew up. So,
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, pros. Pros.
I think I said it all. Like it was, for the most part, it was like a really, really well thought out story, like start to finish. They had points that they wanted to hit. They hit it. I felt like I was invested in it, and it is definitely like it has its flaws. Like I don't know what Marvel's issue is with making good villains, but apparently they're just good villain phobic.
No, his performance was great. I just don't think.
Oh no, his performance was great. I'm just saying his character was written stupid. That's my issue with them having good. Like they always get good actors, but then they're like, "Here, your villain's gonna seem really good, but then in the end, he's gonna be really fucking stupid and throw it all away. Knock yourself out." And they just have like the third act issue, where the third act they always just derail everything just for the sake of continuing a larger narrative that should be more fluid than what it is.
That's fair. I like that.
But like in general, this was their best movie in a really long time. However, I don't think, other than Guardians of the Galaxy, there's another movie that I feel confident will ever touch this level.
I'd agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, those thoughts. Are y'all ready for your rating?
Yeah.
I'm going to go last because I feel like I'm the most indifferent.
Yeah, you're going to give it like a 4. I'm going to give it a 7.
I was going to give it a 7.
Upper middle tier. This is a well-deserved 7.
I'm giving it a 6.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that extra point that pushes it for me is how beautiful the CGI was. Like, this is the most complete Marvel movie where there wasn't a moment where I was like, "Oh, that CGI looks really fucking bad." Like, even though MODOK like looked really cartoony, he didn't look out of place, which is really hard to do. And I kind of commend the VFX artist on that. While he looked like absolute dog shit because the design that was forced on him, he didn't look like Play-Doh. You know, he didn't move like a PS2 character. He flowed like an actual thing. So
the ants looked really good too.
Dude, the ants are fucking sick as fuck.
Wow, these ants are so smart.
My wife cucked me, but at least I got my ants.
But yeah, that's it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you leave a review if you're on our podcast page on Apple or Spotify or whatever you're listening to. Make sure you look at links in the description for all platforms. Make sure you look at our merch store, and all our socials are there too. So say your mom for us, and we will see y'all next week.
Yeah.